So, right, this is a video I never thought we'd do again. I'm sat down on some beer cases
Yeah.
because this one was kind of, remember, at the back of the bar, not the main two bits, because it's the only way I could get these two machines together and not, you know, so that you can halfway at least see them. So, as you know from the thumbnail, this is which one out of these two cracking machines. You know, obviously you've lost the sub now, and the Philips PD is kind of, I don't know, it's still alright, isn't it? If you just drink lager, but basically it's on a, I would probably say over the course of time, a one-way trip, because there's even rumours about a new one of these looking forward, so who knows. Anyway, one thing I've done is I've left the standard handles on them both, rather than the last video we did. But I will say with the handles, with the Perfectdraft Pro, you just buy one off eBay from the pub, it goes straight on. Whereas to the Blade, you do need that adapter in the bottom there. But then if you buy one of them that's made up, they'll either include the adapter, or you can buy the adapters freely enough to make the same one from the pub fit in. My third Blade, fourth Perfectdraft Pro, but I've still got the other three Perfectdrafts there. When you talk about build, a lot of people really do like the Blade build. I do get that because it's more sturdy, you know, it's much stronger metal. Although it's a bit of a beast to carry. Another good point with the Blade is the dome. You switch that on like that, you should be able to see.
And it lights up.
And it lights
so
up.
It does look quite good.
It does look the part, yeah. If you can lift kegs easy enough, because you're lifting it quite high, you're getting a bigger keg. So with your 14 pints rather than your 10.5, you're not changing as often.
Although for me that's a little bit of a disadvantage because I'm shorter and I'm not particularly strong. Lifting it up and getting it into the machine is extremely difficult for me.
It can be quite heavy when they're high up. I get that, and I do understand that. But say we haven't done any bullet points on this, but any questions? I don't know. We might even end up doing this in two parts, mightn't we?
We'll definitely go through what we feel are the pros and cons of both machines.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there is no winner. Although obviously we've got our opinions, but then someone else could counteract and say something totally different. You know, you Perfectdraft, we're not using the app because you haven't got an app on the Blade one. The Blade goes to a set temperature of 2 degrees, but when you get the Blade down to 2 degrees, it holds really well at 2 degrees.
And that 2 degrees really is, it is holding there. It's a nice cold pint. Yeah,
but you could argue if you were drinking a stout it's too cold, but you'd be there all night if you're going into that one. The Perfectdraft does have the temperature control here, just by the side of my shirt, which I've got it set on 0.
Just move over a little bit so you can see that.
It does connect to your Wi-Fi and everything, as you can see there, but we're not doing all that off the app because there's totally no point, because I've done app videos when it first came out, and the app is improving, to be honest, I'll give them that, but you know, I just want to put my beer in and drink my beer, and it is good having the set temperature if you're drinking stouts and so on, and if you're like us that do like to drop the temperatures, then it does count a lot, doesn't it? But barring that, you know, it gets it down to 2. One thing they say with Blade kegs is chill them for 24 hours beforehand. On Blades prior to this one, I've cheated that a bit, and I've had it in the Blade, and you can get a pint within an hour. You know, you're not supposed to do that because of the sensors, but I've never had any problems. But I haven't done it with this one, to be honest, have I?
No.
I behaved, you see, for once. It's just another important thing, isn't it? I mean, when you've got the Blade keg in as well, it's not so easy. I don't care what anyone says about swapping them round. It's not so easy. We did try it before with a certain keg, and when the certain keg went back in, it wasn't the same.
Yeah, I think it's because when you put the Blade keg in, you depress the orange button in the middle.
Yeah, no.
That might have something to do with it.
I don't know. I don't think so, no. I just don't think that it can do it.
But it's also harder to store it in the fridge
well,
as well,
yeah,
isn't
of course. The other problem we had was it rolled out the fridge once, didn't it? It was meant to be cold, and it was oh god, yeah, it was never cold, was it? But with a Perfectdraft, they are proper sealed, and they're easy to get in your fridge, so you can have, even if you've only got one machine, for argument's sake, you can have 3 running at once, which is, in my opinion, a much better idea.
If you like a bit of variation, put one in your fridge, have something different running for a little while, and then you can interchange them.
It does, yeah. And it's little things like that help and that make you think, well, yeah. You know, you talk about the prices of the kegs. That's a hard one to go into, although at the moment, well, one thing you've got to remember, you get £5 back on your Perfect Draft keg, you get 5% in tokens off Perfect Draft rather than Beerwolf. But you've just got to look at what's on offer and what you like.
They both do various different offers, don't they, at different times.
There's a lot more on Perfect Draft at the time of making this video than there is Blade, but that can change. Although it's not so easy to change because the range of Perfect Draft is a lot more than Blade. You know, when we didn't have a Blade for 2 odd years, and there was just this one day a few things happened, and I just kind of thought,
was to go back
here
and
we go.
revisit it.
And we've actually quite enjoyed most of it, haven't we?
Yeah, have them.
Which has been good. I've gone back on Edelweiss, Massinger, obviously Heineken. Sure, we could have done a different one. Oh, the cider, and the cider was quite surprising as well, which I did up against the Perfect Draft cider. But yeah, as I say, depending on who you are, with most machines, there's always going to be pros and cons, isn't there?
Definitely.
It's like, I could say, I find the Perfect Draft easier to pour, and then someone else will say, I find the Blade. Well, the one thing is, for one, is the distance, right? This is your Heineken glass. These glasses are too small half the time for these machines anyway. They're not the best glasses to use.
The tall, thin ones are harder to pour in. Whoever you are, you're going to find it more difficult.
This is higher. Do you see the give here? So you're going like that.
You can get your angle better.
You're going like that. And whereas to this, whereas to you can go right to there, round to there, you have this bit here, which doesn't help when you're trying to get that literally like that on these pours. And if we've got a more, I didn't bring one down, did I, Uncle Wally? We've got more open glass. It's somewhat easier to go that way than it would.
More the traditional style pint pot glass.
Yeah, you see what I mean? It's always going to be hard pouring like that. Whereas to that as well, and you can go so much more higher. But you see, look, it's hard to get that there, but where you've got the give, where it's higher, the bit here, it really does help over the course of pulling a pint. But as I say, the Royal glass and the Heineken there are not exactly best beer ones, are they? I mean, Michelle's struggled.
I have to admit, when it comes to doing the pours, I much prefer the Perfect Draft Pro. It's, for me, a lot easier to pour a pet pint. The Blade, I really messed it up. I'm not very good at that one.
Obviously I'm hoping with this one to do you a perfect pour of both machines, but actually you can do one.
I can try.
You know, because I've done videos like this before, and people are like, well, why don't you do what was the pour? And you're like, okay, but yeah, as I say, there is a variety. I mean, with the Blade, it shows you temperature here. I don't know if you can see that there properly, but I'll probably add to this video afterwards. It shows how low your temperature is here, which is obviously, it's got to be to the bottom, and it shows how much you've got in the keg. And they are quite, I must give Blades something as well, they are quite good with the temperature as it goes down, whereas the Perfect Draft on occasions, I've been on the last bar and I've had 3.5 pints.
Yeah, it's not quite so precise, although it is digitalised.
It's better now on this machine,
and
most of the
how
time.
much you've got left.
Yeah.
So
it can do a few iffy ones, can't it? On you, and there's a few that you kind of think, okay, and it's flashing red, and you still get 2.5 pints out of it, and you're thinking that can't tally. Well, I suppose it could, because I don't know. It's one of them things, isn't it? But yeah, I do find with a Blade, that's a lot more closer to what you're drinking, which is good as well. As I say, your Blade, people say it's a better build. Makes no odds to me. It's for pouring beer. People say it's better looking. Again, it's for pouring beer, but a lot of different features do count, and I do get that, don't I? But for me, obviously with a Perfect Draft, you've got the choice, and it's much easier to swap over the kegs. I mean, let's be honest.
going on swapping on the kegs as well. The up and over with the blade, like I said before, is quite difficult for me. With this, it just I can't open it fully because it's right next there, but it does open right the way up, and the keg just slides in front facing, which for me is a lot easier.
And that, yeah, I'll just put that there. And obviously with your blade, there's loads of people that have done videos. You just lift that, and it's easy. Well, when it's coming out, it's a lot easier than when it's going in. Because obviously you've got the 14 pints compared to the 10.5, which again is one of them things, isn't it? You know, different people are going to like different things. There's no right or wrong. It's just for a bit of time since I got the blade. Again, we said you're going to do another video, and I thought, but the last time we did all bulletproof, didn't we? Where we looked at the thing, and I got so confused with everything. I said it's better just to go in there and do it straight off, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if need be, I can always add to this myself tomorrow.
You can.
If I think, I missed this major point, that someone will pull me up on anyway. If the video goes up first, isn't it? But right, I suppose the best thing to do is to do a pour.
Yeah. And
show you that. I would say hashtag the perfect pour, but I have a feeling that.
But when you do it under pressure, that often goes wrong. It's often one of the hardest times to do it.
But as I say, I do find it, although a lot of the times I can get it right on the blade. Obviously, remember with these machines as well, when you first put the keg in, if the keg hasn't settled long enough or anything, it's always going to be lively. And a lot of them are lively on the first pour in a way, aren't they?
They can be, yeah.
So I'll do the perfect draft first.
Okay, I'm going to stand up a little bit.
So, as I said, with your perfect draft, you're literally going as far to here, as many degrees as you possibly can. When you're pulling the lever, you've got to go straight down, like that, as far as you can. Keep holding it on that tilt for literally as long as you can. Don't go back until you have to, and that's still not going to be a great pour, but it's not too bad. Actually, for a German pour, that's quite, there you go.
Acceptable, yeah.
So there's your perfect draft pour. As you can see, where it was a smaller glass, you're always better with the bigger ones. You know, like your tiny Rebel one that's up there. Do you want to stick that over there? You've got that advantage, if you see what I mean, and you've got that bit of leeway with a bigger glass, like that for argument's sake, than you would have pulling it in that, because you can go so far with that glass. Do you see what I mean? And that's the same in this machine. Well, it is harder to get them in with the way you've got that bit all around here as well. You're going to hit if you're not careful. Never mind.
It's been there a while.
Yeah, it's been there a while, wasn't that? And now we do a pour on the Heineken Blade. The perfect pour again. One says, I'm trying to make sure they can see it. I'm trying to get that right like that. Whoa. See, if you tilt it too much, I'll tell you what though, it's going to be a good pour. No, it was.
It was.
I can't.
Yeah. For me, that I would have half of the head froth.
I couldn't, you know, I was actually watching that, and that was actually coming perfect. I thought, I've done it, and it's just, if you just tilt too much too quick, that unfortunately what happens. And like I say, I know it's easy to say, oh, he's there blaming the glasses. It's actually true, because if you try it yourself with a bigger open head glass,
the glasses are more difficult every time. Every time.
You're better off half the time if you, with a big open glass, a half glass, something like the Dugare glass there again, a tiny Rebel, they work. Your standard old pints work from before.
Stella chalices are quite
Stella
good.
ones are good, because your Stella ones have got a massive opening.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, I was obsessed before. We like having the same glass for the same drink, which is just an expensive, crazy thing, if I'm honest. It's just one of them things that, I don't know, we all sort of...
You end up with hundreds and hundreds
brought into it, yeah. When I was even trying to get rid of some, we got more in than what we got out. And then it starts costing you a fortune, doesn't it? You know, you can pick up glasses everywhere now, can't you? There's not too much of a problem, but yeah. I say that's flattened down now.
Here we go.
And you can see, but I mean, that's only a 3-finger head, and it's a thick foamy head. They're both quality drinks. Thankyou Royal is obviously it's just that we've got it in at the moment. It's obviously a limited keg on the Perfect Draft. Whether that's coming back, I don't know. I've got to go bend down.
Yeah, you're going to have to.
I'm half on and half off, but we just had that in the machine at the time, and as I say, I was asked to do it, and obviously we're away. Actually, probably when you see this video, isn't it? Unless I sort anything out. But yeah, as I say, there's no right and wrong here. There's no winner. It's just what you personally think. It's like I say, I'll go away. I'll stop this in a minute. I'll think about it tonight. If there's anything else, I'll come on camera myself in the morning and add it to it.
Add on to it, yeah.
Before we upload. But as I say, they're pretty much, they are what they are, aren't they? You know, we've gone through that. It's always good because you get loads of questions asked after, obviously for new people and everything, which I do understand for someone new. Yeah. It's good, but you see how cold that is. Look at that. And that's at 0, and you'll be saying, why is he having a wheat beer at 0? That's because she gets time when we're doing this to drink it.
It gradually warms up.
You see, and your Heineken there at 2 again. Look, I feel that.
But you can actually pour if you've got a keg like this. Oh yeah, nothing cold. You can, what temperature does this go up to?
About 10, 12.
Yeah. So you have got that quite big range on this. The other thing I have to say with the Perfect Pro is that it works well in really high temperatures. Apparently, say like if you have your man cave or something, it can hold its temperature up to 38 degrees.
Yeah, the
I'm not sure about
the blade's quite good for that. It's the other Perfect Draft that has a lot of you
a lot of trouble.
I've already found out, unfortunately, won't hold its
Struggles in the
temperature.
high heats, yeah.
Yeah, some of them are good, aren't they? It's just, you know, it's technology and it changes as it goes along, which obviously I understand myself, isn't it? It's just one of them things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much. You know, we're going to end this video and think. I should have said that.
Should have mentioned that.
I will do an ad to tomorrow if need be. I think that's pretty much it. Temperature, prices. I mean, prices is another thing that you'll always ask about, but they change the prices and the offers all the time. So you've got to either look at perfectdraft.com for the Pro or beerwolf.com, which I'll put links to them in the video, because how can you tell if you don't?
Yeah, got to watch out for them offers.
And they do. They do at the moment, aren't they? I say Perfect Draft are leading the way. At the time of making this video, there's a lot of good offers on.
Yeah.
But who's to say? And obviously, as I said, the range is the thing I'd look at mainly. What you like.
Yeah. And
what's on the machine.
Yeah.
So, right. It's a definite bonjour for now. As I say, I might add to this one later. Bonjour.